Joining us on the line is Mike Gonzalez, Senior Fellow at the Heritage Foundation. He is also the author of the book, The Plot to Change America, How Identity Politics is Dividing the Land of the Free. Mike, thanks so much for joining us again. Good to talk to you.
Ben, great to talk to you, and a belated happy Rosh Hashanah.
Oh, really appreciate it. Yeah, the year has begun with a bang, obviously. So let's talk about there's a new study out from the Daily Signal, or at least reported by the Daily Signal, on the link between the Chinese government and the Black Lives Matter movement. So BLM obviously has become this cause celeb, or at least it was a cause celeb until people started randomly burning down cities and such. So what are the links between Chinese funding and BLM? Because it's easy to see this sort of thing as a conspiracy theory. So what's the actual evidence as far as foreign funding for movements like Black Lives Matter?
So there's a pro-China group. I think the link is more ideological. There's a pro-China group that has been pro-China from the beginning, and that is the Chinese Progressive Association of San Francisco, who is the fiscal sponsor of one of Alicia Garza's many ventures. Alicia Garza is the founder of Black Lives Matter. One best thing to her is sitting atop a worldwide global revolutionary network. One of her ventures is the Black Futures Lab. If you click on the donate button, it says that the Black Futures Network is the Black Futures Lab is a fiscally sponsored project of the CPA San Francisco. The CPA San Francisco was started in the midst of the Cultural Revolution by Ivor Quinn, a Maoist militant group to spread, to defend China in the United States. That is really the extent of it. The extent of it really is ideological, as far as I know, right? It would take a government investigation to find out anything more. I think the overlap here is clearly ideological. The CPA in San Francisco and the CPA in Boston, which are separately registered, but both started by Ivor Quinn militants, they participate in a a group of the hard left called Left Roots, and so I think it's no surprise, right? As much as the media tries to hide it, the Black Lives Matter organizations, not the sentiment, obviously, the organizations were founded, and run by people who don't like capitalism.
And that's been pretty obvious. They actually took down the Black Lives Matter website. They actually took down their statement about what they were seeking over the last week. So now they're attempting to cover up exactly what their standards were. And the reason for that is that Americans are actually starting to search out exactly who started this movement, what is the organization that stands behind it, and when they back Black Lives Matter, are they backing the slogan generally, or are they backing a specific organization that is neo-Marxist in intent? The media have allowed people to get away with this for quite a while. PolitiFact suggested that BLM has no links whatsoever with Marxist ideology, which is an insane misstatement, given, again, the fact that the leaders of the Black Lives Matter organization have been overt in their support for Marxist ideology. And so, Mike, obviously, you're of a Latino extraction, and you're looking at states like Florida, where the Latino vote makes a huge difference. And it seems like President Trump is actually out-earning his normal share of the vote among Latinos. I wonder how much of that is due to the increased radicalism of the Democratic Party and groups like Black Lives Matter that have been overtly, in many cases, embracing the arguments made by Marxists around the globe.
Well, as you know from my book, The Plot to Change America, I don't believe the Hispanic category is a real one. It was created by the left for the purposes of the left. You can't really speak of a Latino vote, quote unquote. You have a Cuban-American vote in South Florida. You have a Puerto Rican vote in Central Florida. Even there, you cannot, you cannot look at the Puerto Rican vote in Central Florida and say it's the same thing as a Puerto Rican vote in New York or Hartford or Philadelphia. It does look like Trump has a very strong lead with Cuban Americans in South Florida. I think the swing group is that Puerto Rican vote in Central Florida, which is really swing. It voted for Jeb as governor. It voted for Obama as president. And it looks like they really contributed to Rick Scott's victory in 2018. That is really the sweet spot right there. It's called the I-4 corridor, that area between Tampa and Orlando. Heavily Puerto Rican presence there, very different from the Puerto Rican vote in New York and Philadelphia.
Well, Mike Gonzalez, the book is The Plot to Change America, How Identity Politics is Dividing the Land of the Free. You can go pick it up right now. Mike, really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. Bye, man.
All righty. We will be back here tomorrow with much, much more content as we move ever closer to President Trump's Supreme Court pick. We'll bring you all the latest. You're listening to The Ben Shapiro Show.